Oh, sod it, I'll leave it as it is. Right. Okay, we're live on StreamYard now. So here we go. So if you could join us all on StreamYard, I'll be very grateful. It's working now. We've got 3 people in chat. We've now got Suko. She said, hang on. She says, I'm checking. There was no live chat this evening. Yeah, Green says, Paul Green said, slow again. Here it is. It's going to. Here we go. Now, at least I think we'll just get on with it and just hope that it works itself out, because nothing is actually working on it tonight. I'm trying to get rid of that and it won't go. God knows what's going on. So we're laughing all the time because we got all the other ones come now. It's on Rumble. No, we're back on here now. So that's it. Right, we were saying about so if you're on Rumble, please go over to the StreamYard one. Go over to YouTube because it's on YouTube as well. I think should be on YouTube as well. We've got 4 people on this one, and we got 27 on the other one. So, right, you were saying. Now we're saying about scientists. Scientists were they've done it before.
Responsible for killing people. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And have you seen what the World Economic Forum has said? They actually want the the people responsible for the you-know-what to team up with the scientists so they can actually do food production and show farmers how to do food production. That's going to be lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Bill Gates...
Safe and effective.
That's right. He wants to get milk from maggots. Well, I certainly hope maggots start eating into him pretty soon, sooner than later, more sooner than later.
Yeah.
Where do people get these sick thoughts from?
I just ceases to amaze me, mate. I did some research 2 years ago into breeding black flies. So these are fantastic source of protein. And what we were looking to breed them for chickens. So you breed the maggots, you breed the flies lay the maggots you feed to the chickens, and it's just this perpetual cycle. And it's amazing food. But I don't want it. None of it.
Yeah.
I want a big, fat, juicy steak. That's what I want.
Yeah. This is the thing. They don't realise that humans have been eating proper food for years.
Millions.
So that's right. And we've lived a long time because of that. You know?
Yep.
And and Jojo Gizmo has said, how do you milk a maggot? I would say with great difficulty.
Carefully, yeah.
Carefully. But before we go any further, you missed the gag tonight. So would you like me to put the gag on first of all?
Absolutely.
I was going to actually risk it, because without any safety precautions at all. And this is the old Swedish chemist shop gag. So here it comes. If I can find the bloody thing. Here we are. So here it comes. It's the old Swedish chemist shop joke.
And now the old Swedish chemist shop joke. Man walks into Swedish chemist shop and says, "Hello, I'd like some deodorant, please." Man behind counter says, "Yes, certainly, sir. Would you like bull or aerosol?" "No, I just want it for under my arms." And thanks, that joke was sent in by Ted. Thanks, Ted.
disgusting joke, is it, to start a show off with, which you didn't this week. So there we are. That's the old Swedish chemist shop joke. Nothing rude in that, is there?
No.
Now, the majority of people, funny enough, are now on my Rumble channel and not my YouTube channel.
Oh, well.
That's life, isn't it? Anyway, sorry, I can't put your chat on here, but we got Robert. He's on the Rumble. It might have been the beans he had earlier, and we got Chris the Gardener.
Christoph!
Hello, mate. As Chris, and we got here Robert. Evening all. We've got her editors get fucked. We got Cat. We've got Baby with a Laser. Sparkle 36. It says, "Are you broadcasting on YouTube tonight?" Yes, we are. And we've got That's Life, but Not As We Know It. And where else we got here? We got lots, and so we got half on chat on this one and half on Rumble. What? Perfect. And you can blame bloody Microsoft for this balls up, because at 7 o'clock when I logged on, the bastard computer decided to upgrade itself and just went. Didn't ask me, he just did it. So I had to use my other computer to start it, and then we've gone to this one. But anyway, we're on here now, and it all seems to be working. And Suko says, "Hello, I'm here. I was on Rumble." Was you really? Well, we rumbled that, so there we go.
Well done, Sue.
Thanks, Sue. And if you'd like to come over to us, we are broadcasting on YouTube.
The dark side.
The dark side of YouTube. And asked about Facebook as well. Oh yeah, I've been a naughty boy on Facebook. They said that
you and all.
Yeah, that what was it? I said something about against community standards. I probably said tit or bum or something. And they're downgrading me for some reason.
Oh, that's good.
So something like that, you know. Anyway, what I was going to say is, we were talking earlier about these two things I've had.
Yes.
Well, there's a party called the English Constitution Party.
Yes.
And they're putting one bloke up, just one bloke, and called Brett. And their party is going to abolish usury. Hey! So that's going to be fun, isn't it? So I wonder if they're going to get the MI5 coming around, because that's what they did to Nick Griffin, isn't it? Do you know what happened with Nick Griffin? His party said, his party was, what's it now? The British BNP.
I remember.
The manifesto was to have the top of their manifesto. And I'm not saying this because I support anything or anything like that, because I don't normally vote. Was to abolish usury. And he got a knock on the door one day, and they said, "If you don't take that off of your manifesto, we'll destroy you and your party." And the rest is history. They destroyed him and his party. So it's lovely living in a democracy, isn't it? Anyway.
You've got to love a little bit of democracy, Chris.
Oh, it's not a nice bit of democracy, isn't it? Now, what's been going on with lettuces? Apparently, they give you the shits or something, don't they? I mean, sorry, the two bob bits.
I did see something about this in one of the, I think it was in the Grocer magazine, Chris. They had an outbreak of E. coli in one of the packing plants from the, I presume, the water source. I can think that's all it could have been. And it was all contaminated. So all this lettuce was going out to the supermarkets, all contaminated with E. coli. It's like, well, welcome to the scientific world we live in. Imagine if you'd have just gone to your garden and pulled one out, washed it and ate it with your own water. Well, look at me, that would have probably not hurt you, But, of course, they know best, Chris. They know best.
Yes. Well, that's right. That's right. And what gets me is they're always so smug about it. And if they came to your father and said, "Well, I think I should, couldn't you use couldn't use a transit van instead of a tractor? I mean, it'd be much more economical, wouldn't it? You could sort of drive across, and you wouldn't need to use a plough, would you? You could just use the tyre marks. That's their sort of logic, isn't it? Oh, they'd have to have a bow tie and Professor so and so, But Now, Sue Coe just said, what is it? Sparkle 36 is me, and I'm here on YouTube. Hello, Sue Coe, Sparkle 36. Come in, 36. And Jojo Gizmo says, I think it's just the tip of the iceberg. Oh. But no, when you look at food and the way they go about things, you're saying it's going to be, and I'm inclined to agree with you, it's going to be a lot of
shit show.
Shit show. My theory, though, is you'll still be able to buy junk food crap.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, you'll be able to get that with no problems at all. Because I remember when they had the what's it down over the last 4 years, the shelves were full of crisps and crap and shitty stuff. You didn't have any shortage. You could always get that. But the things like broccoli, cabbage, oh no, because I've noticed the price of broccoli is going through the roof.
Hey, listen, Chris, let me tell you something. I got a message the other day from on the fruit and veg wholesale company I run, and we got a message to say that tender stem broccoli had gone from £7 a box to £29 a box in 2 days.
Bloody hell.
And sugar snap peas. Now, bear in mind, Chris, the box is a 2 kg. Those sugar snaps went up to £69 a box.
Really?
£69.
That's unbelievable.
Just absolutely. And the restaurants were going, but last week they were like £12. How do you justify that? I said, it's not me. And the justification from the suppliers is, oh, yeah, it's been raining in Kenya. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Why can't we grow them in the UK? Oh, no, hang on. We can grow them in the UK. But the farmers haven't geared themselves up to have polytunnels in place to put them in.
That's right. It's just, and I tell you what got me.
Frustrated with Chris is the fact.
Do you remember when they had that starvation in where was it now? Where they did that? Was it Feed the World? Oh, blimey! Years ago. And soon after, I can't remember the name. It was in an African country, and soon after they discovered, I discovered in the supermarket they was getting green beans.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yeah.
So
Ethiopia,
that's it.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they tasted like razor blades because if they're brought a long way, they go brittle. It's just, if they've just grown up the road, they'll be nice. What's going on?
Chris, I'll tell you something. My partner's Nigerian, and when I was talking to her about Live Aid and how we raised millions of pounds for all the people in Ethiopia, and and it was great and how well we did, she fucking looked at me and laughed. She said, "No, you didn't." She said, "You raised all the money for some business in England." She said, "That's what you did." She said, "All the African countries gave them grain, but you paid money what didn't get there." And she just thinks it's highly hilarious.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Only us lot, mate.
Yeah. Do you remember that thing? What was it now? It was where they was people were trying to. It was for Virgin.
I like him.
What's his name now? And
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson. Thanks, Mike. They wanted to have a director of Virgin. They went around and these people had to do these different tests and things like that. And one of them, they went to Africa to advise people how not to be poverty-stricken. Hello? People have been living in Africa for generations. I think they know. I think they know how to survive somehow. I mean, I just sit there thinking, huh? I mean, what is going on? It's bonkers. Because the other thing which is strange is that have you noticed pineapples? Now, pineapples, they're dirt cheap. There's piles of them in the supermarket coming from Costa Rica. Do you know what's going on there at all? Because I've never seen pineapples so plentiful and so cheap. Because normally pineapples are a couple of quid, but they're 99 pence now. Have you any idea?
No, I don't know what's happened there. I've got to say they're still dearer than that wholesale price is 137. So I don't know quite. But Chris, we both know that supermarkets don't actually play by the rules. So you can never look at a shelf price of a supermarket and actually think that's what it's worth, because they'll take 50 pence off that and put it on a bottle of wine and justify it somewhere down the line. And that's just done to make people like me who run a fruit and veg wholesale company look bad. Because you go out to deliver to a restaurant and you charge them £2 for a pineapple, and they say, how the hell can you be £2 when they're only 99p in Tesco's?
Yeah.
And this is the games they play because of the power they've got and the finances they've got behind them. They've only got their finances by robbing people. At the end of the day, that's what they've done.
Well, this is it. I mean, I ran a business once selling technical drawing instruments, mail order, and I was out. I'd done out. It was a failure, and the reason it was a failure was because the big boys could buy up these technical drawing instruments and get a massive reduction. So I was buying them trade for a higher price than the big boys were. So I just couldn't compete. It was just ridiculous. And I can understand how you feel, because another thing, they have lost leaders, don't they? They can afford with some things to draw you 100%. Into the store.
Yeah.
I mean, sugar, I think, has always been a lost leader, because just apparently they move sugar around in the supermarkets. So, because I think sugar and bananas is what people buy most. So they move it around so you look for it. And whilst you're looking for it, you might buy other things.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
They're crafty, mate. They're the psychologists what work for them are just worth their money, I have to say, because it's all about playing games with your mind.
Well, you're right. I mean, Chris has said, Chris the Gardener, hello. By the way, I hope you and Mrs. I hope things are okay. She's feeling a lot better. I don't like broccoli that much, but if I did, I'd be growing my own. Well,
absolutely, Chris.
Yeah.
100%, mate.
Yeah.
More people growing their own, the better.
My potatoes are just about to go in. I've been chitting all around my kitchen. I've been chitting the tomato. Yes, there's nothing like a good chit of your chit. Yeah, chit of your potatoes. And my neighbour came and she said, "Oh, I can see you've had a good chit there near the sink." Of potatoes, of course.
We did loads of chitting on the farm this year. It's the first year we've ever grown potatoes here. Mm-hmm. And we've put, sort of several rows in, really just to sort of feed ourselves should the requirement be there, and to build some seed up. And they're doing really nicely. It's been great because they've had loads and loads of water this year, so they've done really well.
I don't know if it's too late or it's the right time to put them in, but I thought we'll sort it.
No, put them in. Put them in. It's good time.
Yeah, and they're chitting like anything. And these are the ones I got from the supermarket. So I'm like,
really?
Yeah. Now it says here, Chris the Gardener says, the pigeons have destroyed my first crop of peas. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Chris, you should get nets on them. You know that.
Well, on the pigeons, I mean, I think they're
definitely on the pigeons.
Okay, but no, actually, I tell you what I do. Do you have raised beds and what you put potatoes in and things like that? A cheap way of doing a raised bed. Get a tyre. Now I'm going to get 2 new tyres for my car soon. Okay, and I'm going to ask to have or keep the tyres they take off. Now the tyres that are taken off, the tread's brilliant on them. It's light has got to the edges and it's starting to crack, which never happened to tyres years ago.
No.
Anyway, what I do, I get an electric saw and I saw around, shall we say, the sidewall, near the tread to the sidewall, one side, then the other side, and then turn the tyre inside out, which is a bit of a bastard of a job, but you can do it. And it doesn't look like a tyre. It looks just like a tub. You put it down, fill it up with soil. Brilliant for growing potatoes in. And it doesn't cost you anything. people say, "Oh, don't like your tabs? They look expensive." No, they're not, the tyres inside out. But there is a technique of turning those tyres inside out that I use. We could use clamps and things like that, because to do it by hand is a bit of a sod. And but I guess you already know about that one.
It's funny because I went the other day to change one of the tyres on my van, and while I was there was these massive tyres, like taller than my van and nearly as wide as my van each. And I said to the tyre fitter, I said, "My crikey!" I said, "They're big old tyres. How much do they come in at?" He said, "They fit a muck spreader." I said, "Oh, right." Because he knows them. I've obviously got the farm. And he said, "They fit a muck spreader, Mark." He said, "The muck spreader has 6 of them." He said, "And they're $5,000 each." to them. So they retail them out at $7,500 a piece, and they need 6 of them on a muck spreader. Hey, they say when there's muck, there's money.
It certainly is. Do you remember that bloke? I think it was in Suffolk. This man needs a monument to him, who had so peed off with the local council. He went with his muck spreader, parked it outside the council offices, and just let it fly. And he said he just loved the look of the expression on the council workers' faces as I hurriedly closed the windows. And it was a lovely hot July day. And he said he left it for a couple of weeks to sort of to get that.
More people should do it, Chris.
Yeah, I don't. I think that should be like an Olympic event. They should go down to and shit.
You imagine if every farmer just backed their shit up to the council offices and just let it go.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Oh, it would. But I think though that with this, I mean, you were saying that, was it around about autumn time? Was it going to be a shortage of potatoes? Was it carrots?
Parsnips, onions. Yeah. All the root veg, basically. What they've done, Chris, is they're going to starve us out by Christmas, because what they've done this year, the wheat and the barley crops are going to be really low in production, so probably down about 30%. So that's going to force price up. It's also going to reduce it by 30%. But we've also got all the basic veggies, the carrots, the parsnips, the onions, and the potatoes are all going to be really short as well. So the price of them is going to go through the roof, and what we're going to end up with is people going hungry. Yeah. And we're not going to get round it. And that's what I say to people. You can still buy seed potato. You can still plant your garden up. Yes, we're coming to the end of planting for summer veg, but you can now go on to your winter veggies, which your hardcore potato, onion, carrot, and parsnips. You can now start putting all your brassicas in, all your sprouts, your cabbage, your collie, your broccolis, your kales. All the really nutritious stuff can go in now, ready for the winter. Can't emphasize enough with people, get on it, because you're going to need some.
Well, that's right. I mean, I'm lucky I've got quite a fair-sized garden. The thing that I also look at is the wild plants that you can eat. Dandelions, full of vitamin C, and you can eat them throughout the year. You can eat the whole plant. It's perfectly safe. There's not a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, if you eat the roots of dandelions, you need to boil them and shred them up and so forth, but they're really good for getting rid of heart problems.
That's right.
Really good.
I didn't know heart problems. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing they're used for.
Really? And the two another one is thistles.
And you know why, don't you? You know that's why they designed glyphosates and Roundup especially, was to get rid of them. So bear in mind that the same company who gave us Roundup gives us heart tablets. So why do you think they wanted to get rid of the flipping dandelions?
And also
it's all out there, mate.
Apparently, you can actually grow in the Arctic as well. There's every continent on in the world has dandelions. It's one of the most common plants ever. And I'll tell you another one: thistles. Now, all right, you got to take all the prickly stuff off. You take that off. It's the actual stem that you have, and apparently it's supposed to. I haven't tasted one, but it's supposed to be slightly sweet. It's quite nice.
Do you remember when we were kids, Chris, you used to get the milky thistles?
Yes.
Well, those milky thistles, if you take them, they're really good for pain relief. that the actual milk, if you milk that and drink it, that's really, really good for pain relief. Better than any tablet, I guarantee you.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff.
Milk thistles.
Yeah.
Because that's it. Because I think that I mean, I've noticed that thistles are very, very easy to pull up. Their root system is so slim; it just goes straight up. But
you can eat roots.
Yeah,
roots are just like carrots.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. People think, bear in mind, Chris, that when you look around all the herbs and things that are about in the countryside, bear in mind that's where all our vegetables started. They all started off as wild. There's nothing what started off growing in big fieldfuls. The seed. This is all seed what's been built up over thousands of years. That man's, got that piece of grass from there, and that piece of grass from there, and that piece of grain from there, and that piece over there, and they've sorted them out to go into it. So they've got a bowl full of each grain, and they've set them. And that this is how we've developed. And this is what makes me laugh in this hour. We're gonna sort of starve you out. We ain't gonna starve me out.
No, sorry.
No way.
Sorry. No, and that's really interesting. I mean, Kat has said milk thistle, I think, is for detoxing as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely, Kat.
That is incredible because
really good for your joints, for getting rid of the acid in your joints.
So
makes you ache. Yeah, for arthritis. And I'll tell you another one. And I've got my dad on this of the last few months because he laughed at me when I told him. But if you smell rosemary 3 times a day, it can get rid of Alzheimer's. That's another thing I've been looking into. So, because my dad's 84, he's right at that point. He's, bless him, he's just starting to, and he consciously, it's so sad because he consciously knows where he's going. And I just said to him, I said, you might want to try this. And every time I go around now, he's so on the ball. He's like, bang, bang, bang. Go around there today, and he's like, did you know about this? And did you know about that? And I read this newspaper, and I did. It's like, fucking hell, he's on speed.
Well, I know that if you have a tincture of rosemary, it helps your memory a lot. You can drink it. Yeah. I mean, I've got rosemary, and you see it growing. Supermarkets often have rosemary growing around their borders and things like that.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
You can. It's easy to grow. It's a Mediterranean plant, but it's pretty hardy. The only thing you got to remember, I think, with it is you don't trim it when there's frosts about it. You can kill it.
No. Yeah, it will, yeah.
So if it's growing bad, you leave it until
leave it. Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing is miniature fruit trees. They're pretty good. You can get them. I mean, I've got 3 miniature fruit trees. Something I want to ask you: the apple tree is doing well. The pear tree is not giving any fruit at all. Lots
How
of
old
leaves.
Is it, Chris?
2 years, if that.
Probably wants another 2.
Really?
Pears want a good few years. It's interesting because I put some in on the farm this year, and on my old farm, I planted 100 fruit trees. And this year, and some of those have been in 5 years, and it's this year that the pear trees have started to fruit.
Really?
Yeah, pear trees do take a bit longer. So, but what I was going to say, I put apple and pear trees in on the new farm, and the apples have blossomed, and they're doing really nicely. Pear trees all look like they've died and give up and gone home.
Really? So it must be something to do with, and I think, is it plums? I think the other one's plums. I think it is. But they're miniatures. So they don't.
Plums again take a good few years to establish themselves.
Because I put bone meal down because that's supposed to be good feed for them.
Yeah.
And I water them. I tell you what I water them with, but the trouble is you've got to be careful of ants. Banana water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I put banana peel into water outside, leave it for about 3 or 4 days, pour it into a watering can, water it around. It's got everything that the trees want, but the trouble is, there's any sweetness in it, the ants will be after it. So you've got to water it down a bit. The little bastards, they're after everything. But is it right? I think it was Chris the gardener was saying that radishes is something like 4 to 5 weeks from seed to
picking. Yeah. So
really quick.
Yeah,
that's something to think about.
Yeah. Most salad only takes a few weeks to get going. I had a friend message me this morning. She said she's the first year she's ever gardened. She's in her late 60s. She sent me a picture of a lettuce patch, and she said, are these ready to cut? And I said, well, I wouldn't cut them anyway. She said, what do you mean? I said, all I would do is go around and pick all the outside leaves off each lettuce and then just leave them to grow. And you'll just keep picking them for the next 4 months. Because otherwise, if you pick them completely, once you've cut it, they've gone. You don't need to. Just keep picking the outside leaves and they'll just keep growing in the middle and growing in the middle. And they'll just keep getting bigger and bigger. It's interesting, Chris, the different things that we've forgotten or that have been shyly removed from our knowledge. When we grow tomatoes in the polytunnels and greenhouses, one of the things we do you get that point where all the tomatoes have grown and they just won't bloody well ripen.
Yeah, I know. I've had loads of times. Bastards won't ripen. I'll put a banana peel in there.
Absolutely. Just put bananas in there. That's exactly right. And keep
marigolds.
Throw some marigolds in there as well because they keep the green fly away.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Is it right that marigolds are edible? I think they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so are daffodils.
I know that people get killed because you can't eat the bulbs. They're poisonous, aren't they?
No, you can't eat the bulbs. And if you can eat the actual leaves of a daffodil and the trumpet, but you must eat the centre bits, the little things inside. I don't know what they're called, but you can't eat them.
Oh, I know.
And it's,
bit
with a bit on the end. Someone will tell us in the chat, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's cleverer people out there than us, Chris. But isn't it interesting now? All this stuff is now coming back to roost, Chris.
It is. And also, well, you're right, because I often go blackberrying around about August, and there's a big field around where I live, which is left wild, and it's common land. You can go around and pick blackberries. I'm the only one there. People don't bother, and they go down the supermarket and pay out money to buy blackberries, and I can get them free. Loads of them, lovely.
It's strange, isn't it? I had the other day the result of the year, as far as I'm concerned. I pulled up on the side of the road. My partner had said to me she wanted to put a tub together with some herbs in it. And I know there's an old boy in one of the villages near where we live who grows some plants and puts on the side of the road. So I pulled up and I got, like a sage, a parsley, chives, thyme and so forth. And I was all chuffed with myself. They were 50 pence each, lovely big plants. And I just come away and he said, oh, hello. He said, is there anything else you're looking for? I said, well, what else you got? Oh, well, took me around the back garden. I bought 18 gooseberry bushes for £15.
That's not bad. I got gooseberries. They don't do terrible in my garden. I don't know why. I don't know whether just sort of.
How long have they been in?
Years. About 20 years.
Oh, they take a good few years to start. I mean, not that long. Don't get me wrong, but they might want trimming back.
Might be, but
might want a good prune.
But I think that really, when you think about it, the big problem with growing your own is you get a hell of a lot of bulk, and then you got to store it somehow.
Absolutely, all at one point, yeah.
And that is the most difficult part. Storing.
It's interesting. I did an interview last night with a lovely lady down in Wales called Anna, and she runs a YouTube channel where she talks about prepping and Anna's lifestyle or something, I think it's called. And she was talking about how to do pickles and things like that. She teaches people on her show how to do that. Yeah. And I was like, that's just brilliant. She's only, relatively young compared to us old people. And I thought to myself, isn't that lovely that she's got that knowledge and she's passing it on? Because, I don't know how to do that. My mum does. My mum makes loads and loads of jams and pickles and things. She's got a cupboard under the stairs and it's like, it's the secret cupboard, Chris.
Oh.
if we get hungry, that's where it's all the good stuff stored. Pickled eggs, pickled onions, pickled gherkins, you name it. It's all there.
My auntie used to do pickled onions. Bloody Nora. I mean, being crude, if you didn't have the farts before you went there, you certainly did afterwards. So crush into that and it go,
but that's when you know they were good, isn't it?
Oh, they're bleeding good. She really knew how to do it. She was brought up in the country and everything. She knew exactly how to do it.
I actually went somewhere today and picked up 10 gallons of vinegar for pickling. That's something I'm putting it away specially. So should the requirement come, we can go and start rounding stuff up and start doing a bit more of it. I mean, we've done a lot this year, which we haven't done before. in growing and pickling and
Yeah.
jamming and so forth. So it's going to be an interesting few years, I think, coming up, Chris. And I don't really want to go hungry. I don't fancy it.
Same here. Luckily, I live in a sort of semi-urban area, so there's still a bit of countryside around before the bastards build on it.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing is, the thing is, I buy tin stuff, but the problem with tin stuff, it's a temporary because it's had its vitamins and bowled out of it. That's the big problem. It's got no real goodness in it as such. It will fill you up, yeah, but it won't really give you what you need.
It'll sustain you. That's the point of tin food. If people understand the sustainable side of living, that's where tin food comes in, really. From my side, we've got bulk rice, lentils, beans, and everything put aside. In loads and loads of 25 kilo sacks of it. And and different people say to me, "Say, "Oh, fucking crazy, isn't you?" Am I? If the price of food goes up, I still beat inflation. If there's a food shortage, I still eat. So I don't care how crazy I am.
Well, I've got loads of spaghetti and rice, and some of that spaghetti and rice is over 10 years old. It lasts for 15 years. Tin stuff. I've got tins from 10 years, 15 years ago.
Well, the thing is, Chris, that the tins then were meant to be kept for long term.
Yeah.
They were really nice thick cans. The cans of today, in 18 months' time, start to rust out. It's deliberate. It's deliberate, mate. Without any doubt at all, it's deliberate.
And there's no Tetra Paks because the Tetra Paks could last forever. And they stopped Tetra Paks because they was going to go over from tin to Tetra Paks.
Yep.
So, but the only tin food I am dodgy with is fish. You got to be careful of. I think I don't eat any fish that's over the date too much.
Yeah,
that is a little bit iffy. And tomatoes. And the reason why is the acid in the tomatoes might do something to the inside of the tins. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Something like that. But the other thing, pineapples as well, the acid there. But I love pineapples. But the thing is, if you eat tin pineapples, you haven't got the bromelain in it. And bromelain is really good for you. That's why it's best to eat raw ones. The ones that
I love a raw pie. There's nothing better, is there? I mean, when we were kids, Chris, used to go to a party. There was always cheese and pineapple. That's a fecking taste sensation, man. My mum used to do the most amazing catering when we were little. My mum used to do catering for the family parties and things. And cheese and pineapple, it gets no better.
You're right. You're right. Well, actually, but Mayor West says, I think Jeremy Clarkson did a good job with his farm show, showing how, I won't say the word, UK farmers are.
Mayor, I totally agree. 100%. He's done more for British farming in two series than the NFU have in 30 years.
Why can't they leave people to do what they're skilled at? You've got years and years and years of experience with farming. How dare these bastards from Whitehall or wherever come and tell you how to farm? I mean, the worst time was in World War II. And if you didn't produce a quota of food that's required, take your farm over literally by fault. So you didn't have any choice in the matter. And they reckon that in some areas they were giving quotas that were impossible to meet deliberately to take people's farms over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we got here, what is it? Milk thistle, an interesting one. Milk thistle, I think, we had that one. You can burn rosemary as essential oil for concentration, etc. I didn't know that. Yeah. You burn it. Can you dry it first? I don't know.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can put it through a dehydrator or dry it out in the sun this time of year.
As in essential oil, rosary. That's interesting.
Rosary. Yeah.
One I've got to be a little bit careful reading out. Why use a natural remedy known for thousands of years when you can buy a jolly from certain people, which I can't mention on YouTube? But that's true. Yes.
I think we all know why.
Well, that's right. We got a split audience tonight because I think there's two shows on YouTube at the same time because Hereditous Getfucked says Backy plants are slow, 200 millimeters high. So we got quite a few people on Rumble tonight. Thank you very much. Good evening, my Rumble audience. Nobody on Facebook. Well, I don't blame it. It's crap anyway. So we got 7 people on the Rumble YouTube, and they're not joining us here on the YouTube.
Man, isn't it?
Well, we can thank Microsoft for that, for ballsing up my computer early. And if I'll tell you something, if Bill Gates is listening, it's him, the bastard, that's done it, you know. So I blame him. Now we got here.
We all know who's to blame.
Oh yeah,
he's to blame for everything else. You might as well blame him for your computer, mate.
As I said, is he thinking of producing maggots? I hope they start eating into him soon.
Absolutely.
Now, is that the key? This is DJ Flipped. That the key with tin food, storing them in a dry place to stop rust?
Yes.
That's interesting. I'm wondering if they can rust inside and you don't notice it.
I don't know about the inside, but it definitely is the way to stop them building up the moisture on the cans, is to keep them in a damp-free environment 100%. We tend to keep ours in, we keep a lot of food storage in steel containers, inside 40-foot steel containers. But within them, we have plastic containers that we put the stuff into with those little bags that suck up the damp. So we stock everything in those so that, you can, that way you can keep the damp away from the tins and the rice and things like that. So just to stop it spoiling.
Well, I know the ring pull ones, cans, they're the worst, because I noticed rough spots developing around the tops.
Yeah.
And I found that tin potatoes don't last long. Talking 7 years, and they start to rust away.
They're if you've got enough food around you, Chris, the last 7 years, you'd hope by the time you got to the end of the tin stuff that you've got yourself sorted out by then and growing some stuff.
You're right. To me, it's a sort of, because I've got a feeling. We're going to have a
is
survival.
It contagious, or is that the missus has been about again?
Well, I've got some ointment for it, and it's a bit embarrassing, so I won't go into that. But now, what I was going to say though, we're going to do a survival show soon to show you. You might be interested coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was talking to Steve, the ex-soldier, and I was saying what you might have. I mean, you see Ray Mears in the jungle and all that. Well, the chances of us being in the jungle is pretty slim. But you may have to survive for 3 or 4 days in the wild to get to somewhere safe. Because I've got a funny feeling they're going to, if they have a dirty bomb, it's a fake trigger, then they're going to cordon off areas and you won't be able to go unless you get there. So you're going to have to leg it pretty quick. Now, I would leg it straight to the Lee Valley Park and disappear in there. But the trouble is, you'd have to survive for 3 or 4 days whilst going north in the Lee Valley Park. Probably walking, I don't know, cycling maybe. Take your bike, that's the best thing. But they'll have roadblocks, I can guarantee it. So you'd have
to go
through the country and things like that. So you would have to know what to eat and how to survive. And of course, you're only limited what food you can carry with you. I mean, I've got like a backpack that I'd have an emergency, but all I've got is 48 hours of food. That's it. I can't carry anymore. And after that, I'm stuffed. So all I have is, and these meals ready to eat packs are crap. They really are crap. So, and again, water. I've got one of these straw things that you drink it up and it cleans
it to go,
because again, you can't carry it with you. And of course, there's Voles disease around here, which comes from rat's pee. So you've got to be very careful. But this apparently cleans everything out, Voles disease and everything. So, but you can get these, not the Chinese ones, the ones made in England, drinking straws. You've got to get the proper ones. Yeah.
It's my partner, Chris, as I said earlier, she's Nigerian. And when she says to me, you know, she's going shopping and she's got a special shop she goes to buy all the stuff she likes, and she'll say, "Oh, I've got all the vegetables," and she'll have a load of leaves, and I'm like, "What the hell are they?" And she's like, "Oh, that's what we eat," and that's like when they had times they had to go into, you know, into the like the jungle areas. That's what they did. They survived on the leaves, and that was how they. Oh, talk of the devil, they say she's bound to appear, and that's what they survived on, and knowing what leaves they could eat, and that's what we have forgotten. Yes. Now, you know, I don't know if you remember the great film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, you know, where he stood up and he said, "What can we want that the forest cannot provide?" Exactly true. Nothing at all. You know, the unfortunate, we've just made decisions along the way that it's easier to go to Tesco's and go and pick some leaves.
Precisely. I mean, again, how many times do you see people out picking blackberries in the autumn? You don't.
No, don't.
Very rarely. But
I love fruit picking. I absolutely love fruit picking. When we were kids, we I called to see the guy today. So there's a guy called Clive Williamson, from the Maynards Fruit Farm. And when we were kids, we used to go there fruit picking for his dad. And there was this absolutely, you know, they had huge orchards which have nearly all been grubbed out now. Massive raspberry fields, massive strawberry beds. We used to spend the whole summer there. Mum was fruit picking. We would be there as the kids, you know, we'd be playing about, but Mum would always give us a drink for picking for her, you know, and we, you know, if we wanted something, we had to get involved in the picking. And I think it did as well, mate, because, you know, for us, end of summer holidays, when we get into the end of September and the blackberries are on the fields, we used to travel for miles, big buckets of blackberries on the go-karts, and we would trundle around the fields and get back, and then we'd spend days sorting all these blackberries out. Half of them are mushed by the time we get home, but she just, you know, washed them, sorted the stalks out. They all got turned into jam. And you think to yourself, that tasted fucking amazing, Chris.
Yeah,
and this is what
out the ground. That's perfect, you know, because it's fresher than anything else. You buy something from the supermarket, it's what, week old, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? God knows how long. Well,
it's interesting because there was an article I saw the other day where they were boasting, you know, the Every Little Hurts campaign one. They were talking about they can get food from Kenya to the shop shelf in 24 hours. They were talking about, you know, beans and peas and that. What they didn't say was they can. That's what they said. Not they do. They can. And you look at it and you think to yourself, well, hang on a minute, because you're in the position that you do that, and it can sometimes be on the road for 3 weeks by the time it's crossed the borders and got through into the UK. It then goes into storage. It then gets sent for a distribution chain, sits in the supermarket. You know, some of this stuff's 6-8 weeks old, Chris. And that's soft stuff, what I'm talking about. You know, could they just keep it about 2 degrees just above the chill point? You know, things like oranges, if they've done what they normally do to them, which is gas them with a carbon dioxide gas, they can keep apples from New Zealand fresh, well, what look like they're fresh, and they can get them here, and they can be in storage for 12 months.
How? Really?
Yeah.
Because I've noticed the pips starting to take root. Have you ever bitten into an apple and you can see like a shoot coming out the pips?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's why they can take a year. They can put oranges will go into cold store when they pick oranges, lemons, and limes. You probably won't know this, Chris, but from a wholesale point of view, when you buy a box of lemons, there's always one fucking bad one in it, right?
Yeah.
What they do is they pick the whole box of lemons green and put one yellow one in it. And the yellow one ripens all the other ones by the time it gets through the transport system. So you chuck away the mouldy one, but all the rest are ripe.
That's interesting. Because I remember in Greece, someone put a green lemon on my plate. I thought this bleeding thing's not ripe. Until I was told, no, that is right. It's perfectly okay to have a green lemon.
Yeah, that's absolutely how they like it
here. But that's it. But the other thing is that, again, with this survival program that we're hoping to do, is how to make your own MREs, meals ready to eat. Because the ones you buy, I bought some off a market stall, and they were proper British Army meals ready to eat. Shit. absolutely vile. I mean, poor sods if they're on the front having to survive on that crap. I mean, it really is the ultimate in crap. I was going to have a word with Steve about it. They're not that good. They're the people like, oh, meals ready to eat. They're not. They're crap.
Yeah, very high in sugar and salt.
That's it. Yes. Well, they need it.
High. You can taste it the minute you open them. You go, you start having like the stew packs and things.
Oh,
we used to eat a lot of them years ago through necessity.
Yeah, they're bloody expensive though.
They are now. We used to buy them. We used to buy. I had a friend who worked on one of the bases, and we could buy them for, I think, about £1 a box. Them for about 30 in a box.
Yeah. Oh, it used to be dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Not now. They're about. No. They're £4.95 each now. If you want to buy them. Yeah, £4.95. I actually got them off Market Stall for 50p each. I thought, well, I'll have some of that, But it's a waste of 50p because, shit. But I mean, it's not that bad. But it was.
Don't you think though, Chris, that most people have forgot how to cook now? They don't. People are starting to grow their own. That's got to inspire people to cook a little bit more. I can't cook. I can just about order Chinese. So when I say I'm doing dinner, my partner smiles because it means she hasn't got to cook. But I'm good at growing vegetables, but I wouldn't know what to do with them. I couldn't eat them raw.
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, I have not got a microwave oven. I won't. I won't touch them. To me, I can taste the difference. It doesn't feel right. And if you get liquid that's been heated up in a microwave oven, that stays hot for a weird long time.
Yeah. We're still cooking.
Well, people say I'm finicky. No, I can taste the difference.
Yeah. No, totally agree.
I hate it. Anyway, what I was going to say, I mean, I did get an induction hob until I found out that the bloody magnetism's really bad for you. So I just have an ordinary electric top and that's it, what I cook with. But the thing is that I tell you what, I've got these vacuum packs things. We put it in a machine, it sucks all the air out, but it doesn't work with fresh fruit because the gas given off inside bloats them. So it'll only work with things like flour, which you can put
dried stuff. Yeah,
dried stuff. I actually put flour into jam jars. That's the best way of storing it.
Yeah, we stored sugar and butter in jam jars. We melt the butter down, tip it into a jam jar, and then reseal it. Yeah,
and it lasts forever. Well, butter lasts forever actually because the salt in it just keeps it.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know. If you've got long-term food storage, butter, honey has got to be the two biggest things to be on the list.
Yeah,
lorry load of butter and honey, you'd be well away.
And to make a fridge without electricity. Seriously, yeah. In July, and funny enough, your partner might know about this because a bloke invented it in Nigeria. I think it was Nigeria. And what he did, you can do it with flower pots. Okay, get 2 flower pots, a big one and a small one, and plug the holes at the bottom. And then what you do is you put the small one. You put the small one inside the big one, and then the void you put sand in there. So you've got sand.
I've seen
and
that.
Then you put water round in the sand, and then you cover the top with a tea cloth or something like that. And in this hot weather, you put your hand in there and it's cold.
Mm.
And you can actually store stuff for a long time outside. Well, yeah, I would put a timber top on it to stop foxes that going into it. But and I've actually stored stuff when I've had overflow from the fridge in there, and milk and stuff like that will last much longer.
Well, Chris, when we were kids, I remember my nan used to have a pantry, a wooden one, looked a bit like a rabbit hutch, which stood outside the kitchen door, with really, really, really tiny hold-thin mesh on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and she used to keep the lumps of meat in there.
Really?
Cooked meat. It'd sit out cooked meat. She'd do a joint of pork or something, and it'd sit outside for days and days. just at ambient temperature.
That's right. That's right.
No one ever died.
My uncle, there was like a steep embankment back from the back where he lived, and he dug into it, and I think he made it out of concrete, and he put this like room in there, and he had a door he opened, and it was cold all year round. It was like a fridge.
Yeah.
Because it's the soil that kept it cool.
Yeah.
But no, this fridge that I make, I mean, it's just 2 flower pots. That's it, and sand, and it works a treat. Again, I've got a fridge, yes, but if say I clean it out, in the summer, I put the stuff in the flower pots.
Yeah.
And they'll last for ages. Still cold, butter and that. But no, honey will last forever. You buy honey, don't worry about the sell-by date.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean, they found honey in the pyramids. You know, that's something what they've found, or whether the pyramids, temples were, wherever they were, but dating back to the Egyptian times, it was thousands upon thousands of years old, and you can still eat it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's perfectly okay. Now it's got interesting here. Oh, by the way, we got Modern Picked. Hello, Modern Picked. Hey, oh. Hey, I remember during the cocktail Mail West. Hang on, let's have a look at me rumble before we go any further. Let's have a rumble in the jungle. Yeah, everything's going okay there. Now Nathan Lathias is on there. If you want to join us, mate, we're on the other channel. Okay, right. I remember during Cockdown, certain councils were promoting survival packs. I think we should all have something like that. But when the message comes from the government, it makes you wonder, why now? Yes.
You need enough food for 3 days. Ask yourself why they're saying 3 days.
Well, as I say, I can only carry in this backpack enough for 48 hours. I've just got 48-hour packs.
Yeah.
And that is without water. I'd have to find water and cleanse it myself. And that's why I got that straw thing. Like they're implanting the message that an event is coming that they're not to blame for. Yes, a false flag. Every war has started with a false flag. And
Maya, they're never to blame.
Oh no,
never to blame.
Now it says here, DJ Flip says some say you can drink your own urine. I wouldn't advise sharing it. Allegedly, Dave does. Yeah, I know he does. He really takes the piss, doesn't he? Also, you can evaporate clean water from urine and collect it, I believe. You're welcome to it, yes.
Yeah,
fire and brew,
yeah.
Or you could actually buy some cheap lager. I think that's the nearest thing to piss, isn't it? I think, But never they used to say of this advert, I can't believe this is not real butter. But with the lager, they can say, I can't believe this is not real piss. Apples taste awful now, says Cat Holly. Cauliflowers do. Yes, they go yellow.
They got no taste.
That's right. Well,
this is why, because if you take the apples, Chris,
yeah,
this is Cat's point here. Apples are stored for a year. The flavour, the good acids inside it have gone.
That's right.
They've evaporated out of it. Cauliflowers, they're not grown in nutritious soil anymore, and that's where the value comes from. That taste when you get it and you go, wow, everything tastes so watery now. It's just got nothing to it.
That's 100% correct. And I'll tell you what I found. I bought some, what you can get is celery. Now, if you go to, not talking about posh wages, celery. You go to the supermarket and you make sure you got the one with the root. You cut the celery stalks off. And it tastes of water, tastes of nothing. But you put the root, you clean it a little bit. Obviously, cut one more. You stick it in the jam jar with some rainwater and put it in a south-facing window. And about a week or so, you'll start seeing it starting to grow. And when it's grown, it's sort of, you see like little roots coming out the bottom. It doesn't root very that much. You put it in some soil and you grow it. And I'm growing it. It's bolting at the moment. I think it's because of the heat. Because
well, it's probably because you haven't had a lot of light, so it's bolting up trying to find daylight, Chris.
Might be. Well, that's in the greenhouse.
All right.
Yeah, it's strange. But mind you, it go to seed, so I got the seed for the celery, more celery, and the taste is unbelievable when you grow it yourself. It's peppery. It's just out of this world. It's nothing like you get in the supermarket.
No.
And you don't have to do it from seed. There it is. You've got the root already, you know. But the other one is, you can start seeds off in tea bags.
Yeah.
Bug out bags, they were calling, and that's a Canadian idea, bug out bags.
Yeah.
As if they care just to make them look good. Yes, that's the thing. And the other thing you got to sort of remember is that you got to have stuff that you can eat straight out the can. I think you can eat almost everything out straight out the can that's already been cooked. Because how are you going to start cooking? You've got to make a fire and things like that. So now it says that meat in vacuum packs works for a while.
Yeah.
It does. Freezers and things like that. But no, I've actually found vacuum packing any vegetables. No, don't do it. I use these sealer bags you get from the supermarkets and press them down and close them. But it's surprising. Most things, I mean, as I say, this idea on tin cans, sell-by dates, no, I don't take much notice of it, really. Again,
Chris, but the whole point of the sell-by date is to give you a reason to replace it without using it.
Precisely. Never used to have sell-by dates years ago. I mean, I've actually got some tins dating, I kid you not, from 1948. They're collector's pieces. 3 tins. And they're ex-army tins, because when I was a kid, the bloke lived next door. He worked on an army base and used to bring them back. And they used to have clear-outs occasionally, and they used to give them out. And one of them is mock turtles dated 1948. I've just kept it. I don't know why, And it's just but the thickness of the tin was absolutely incredible.
Absolutely.
It doesn't got a sell-by date on it. It just says mock turtle. That's all it says. Gold note.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whether it's vegetable, but again, it's probably still edible, but I wouldn't eat it.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, isn't it? When you're desperate, Chris, you'll be surprised what you'll eat.
But the only trouble is you don't want stomach upset. That's the worst thing,
Yeah.
But also, I wouldn't advise getting anything for your freezer, because electricity might go off. Because I've got a funny feeling they're going to turn the internet off. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I mean, one thing which did come out of the interview I did last night with this Anna was we were talking about the knowledge what we all assume we have because of Google and other search engine facilities, and I have to say that I don't think you can beat a book. Whether that's go online and print it off or whatever. Survival books are something what I think people need to be thinking about. General cooking, easy cooking books. Not sort of beautiful fluffy stuff. The basic food to just survive on. How can I get a meal by walking around this field today?
Food for free. That's
for free.
Food for free. It's Richard Maybe, is it? I think it's something maybe. It's no relation to the bloke who's on the telly, but you'll be amazed because also the forest is a medicine chest.
Yep, definitely.
I mean, I've got do you know it's a good year for cleavers? That one that sticks to you, or sticky willy as they call it. You know that?
Yeah. It's funny. We walked down the field. Partner and I walked down the field the other day, and I said to her, I chucked it at her, and she was like, "Oh, what is it? What is it?" I said, "Oh, that's what we call sticky willy," and she was like, and she laughed and she said, "It's called what?" I said, "A sticky willy." I said,
"Yeah."
I said, "But it just sticks," and we've got loads of it in the hedgerows this year, Chris. Loads. And I'll tell you what else I've seen, Chris.
Yes.
The one big thing I've seen when I've been driving about this year is a massive, inside the forests and things, a huge amount of wild larkspur and wildflowers, like big tall ones, sort of 6 foot plus tall.
Yes.
With beautiful rods of colour on them. And I'll get some pictures. We went over there again Thursday. I think we're over there again. I went past the place near Dis today out in Suffolk, and the woods were just full of them. They just like these massive, great big pokers sticking up out the ground of these beautiful colours. And I was like, I've never seen them before in there. Whether that's because I don't think they've been set in there. It's just, a piece of wild shrubland. I don't think it's that. I think there's just a lot of the stuff where the seeds were deep in the ground. And the water this year has got in so deep and sat there for so long. I think a lot of these seeds have germinated and come out.
Well, you're right. Look what happened when it rained in the desert and they had seeds coming up. I think it was in Australia.
Yeah.
That was thousands or hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
The desert just bloomed. But this is an interesting one because DJ Flipster says, I saw a guy online showing how to dig a small hole to make a fire for cooking. I think we should all learn how to do these things. Yes, that's you do one hole down, another one sideways.
Down, another one in from the side, yeah.
Right, and the smoke comes out the side and you put your saucepan over the top. It's a bit like a rocket stove. Same principle.
Yeah.
Rocket stove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And because the other one thing you do is you get a dried moss, because dried moss is excellent for starting a fire. You can use that. But again, we're not well practiced at it. Some of these people are doing it all the time. Yeah. And going back to what Steve said, he said, all these smart Alex, they buy weapons and things like that, which are legal ones. I'm not talking about illegal ones. I'm talking about air guns, whatever. But the trouble is you've got to practice with them. Because if you don't, if there's someone coming into your house, they're going to use that against you.
Yeah.
So, I guarantee it. So you've got, and he said, and I agree with him, he said it's far better to reinforce the locks in your house to stop anybody getting in or make it a difficult job for them to get in.
Yeah.
So that is, and I think that loads of people around where I live have got burglar alarms. But if you've got
don't work when it's no electric.
Correct. And also, as it's off the shelf, the thieves will have bought them or nicked them and worked out how to get around them.
Absolutely.
So I prefer to use something a little bit different. Clothes peg, credit card in between clothes peg. See? Piece of, that cotton you can buy, which is plastic and it's see-through.
Yep.
Cross, that's right. Cross, you can hook it up and then you just have it rigged up to an old simple battery. They walk in, off it goes. And they think, what the bloody hell's that? Because it's unconventional. They've triggered it.
I think, Chris, I think the big thing is that you don't need to worry about burglar alarms because no one's going to be coming.
Yes.
The police ain't going to be coming, mate. That's for sure.
Oh, no. But the thing is this burglar alarm, they'll run off to another place because they won't know what's happening. Yeah. Because, and somebody also said, flashing lights. It's disorientating. They get out. Right. The crooks want to be in quick and out quick. And it's a bit like, I like cycling. And one of the best ways of stopping someone nicking your bike, okay, you chain it up to a post, yes, but then you buy a little tiny padlock from the pound shop, okay, that you use for when you go on holiday, padlock little things, and you just put that through your chain with a big label on it. So they can't actually, if they've got an angle grinder, they're going to knacker your chain trying to get it off. It's the cheapest, the best way of stopping them from nicking your bike. Because what they want to do is cut the chain right off. That's what they want to do. Yeah. They won't be able to ride off because they go arse over tit. So that is a very cheap way. Unless you, like me, you have an oily chain, you get all oil and shit all over you. But I've got oil and shit over me anyway, so it doesn't really make much difference, It's like, oh, man, But no, there's loads of things you can do like that. The other one you can do with tyres is you can make a solar oven. Did you know that?
No.
Your partner probably knows. This was from Nigeria. Someone in Nigeria found this out as well. Actually, it was an English Nigerian. The bloke was born over here, and he went back because it can hear a Courtney accent, like, you know. Get a tyre, fill it with straw, way round. Get, say, a black piece of steel or something like that. Put an old window over the top. There's your solar cooker, and it'll get up to about 200, 300 degrees centigrade. It gets really hot inside. Cook stuff in it.
I remember watching a video where a little lad in somewhere in Africa had designed these light bulbs, and what they were 2 litre Coke bottles filled with bleach.
I've heard of that, yes.
And they drilled a hole in the roof about so big to stick it through, so half was on the outside, half was on the inside, and during the day the bleach the chemicals start to react and it glows. Of course, when the sun goes down at night, you've got these beautiful bright lights inside the house. Just
brilliant.
But Chris,
I love ideas like that.
Don't you just love the the people of the world? I'm going to not say the British,
yeah.
The people of the world, and that, you know, you can want to take the people out, but the people who don't want to give up will find a solution to everything, and that's what I love about the human race. We'll always find a way to do something.
That's right. I worked with a contract bloke, and he's a proper contract. He went all the way around the world, and he used to work in Africa, India, and things like that. And he always found out where the locals went and ate street food. He'd never eaten a hotel, and the people said, "You must be mad eating that street food." He said, "No, because if they're crap food, no one's going to go there, so they've got to be good." And he found when he went places, they were scrupulously clean.
Yeah.
And he found where the biggest queue was because he knew they were good. And he was the only European standing in the queue. People, believe how's he doing standing here? You know, where's he from? And, you know, he said, the amount of times the blokes in the European type hotels went down with gut rot.
Yeah.
And he never did. They all went down with dysentery or something.
Dysentery, yeah.
He didn't. Because he ate street food. He went there, and they all saying, "Oh, no, it's good. It's very, very good." And I've noticed that in we've got a local market, and the people, well, in this country, I mean, in Europe anyway, they've got these strict regulations. You're always going to be safe with street food, except in London. If you used to get these, was it chestnuts? Like selling chestnuts, and apparently they weren't. Not very clean, shall we say? Yeah, but I wouldn't buy anything in London anyway.
No.
Yes. Anyway, our mystery guest will be joining us shortly. So he says, or it could be a she. You never know. Could be anybody. Yeah. And the other thing I was going to say is, with planting and things like that, I can't understand with what's happened is the World Economic Forum is saying that they want to rewild farmland, build housing on where
solar panels and wind turbines.
I mean, they must be absolutely mentally deranged. I just do not understand what's wrong with these people.
No, Chris, actually, you do know what's wrong. See, you know, we all know that Bill Gates has been designing these factories that are going to grow bugs, and you'll be happy when you eat them. And we all know that they're growing lab meat now. And the quickest way to force people to eat that is to take away the farmland.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. Simple as that. If you've got no other option and they control everything, then, you know, you are completely fecked. You know, I ain't taking part. It's as simple as that. I don't care what they do. I'm not taking part.
That's right.
They can shove their digital ID where the sun don't shine. They can take their jibby jabs and they can do whatever they so desire. I am not participating. It's as simple as that.
Same here. And have you seen that where they can actually, they were like a printer and they print out the food from...
Yeah. Huh? I don't know if you actually looked into this, Chris, because I did some research, and the funniest thing here, so they use animal fat and animal protein to print it with.
Yes, I've seen that.
So why the fucking hell, do you not just have the sodding meat instead? Because if you kill all the animals, you can't print that either, can you?
No. No. Was it Clarkson said once? He said, "Do you know the way there's the giant panda of China, where it's becoming extinct?" He said, "Eat them." He said, "And somebody in China will find a way of breeding pandas." He said, "You think about it; they won't go extinct then." He said, "Someone somewhere will find a way of breeding pandas."
Yeah, you can guarantee it.
But, sorry for all vegetarians out there. Rob Ollioak says, "I eat local in Jamaica." It's like the old joke, isn't it? I sent my wife to the West Indies. Jamaica? No, she went of her own accord. Sorry. Don't do the hotel thing. Good for you, mate. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
It's bloody sight better food there. And our mystery guest says, "Apologies, Chris. Can't get Mick to work for some reason. Lazy bastard. Can't Mick work? Oh, well, poor old Mick. You know." No, his mic can't. His mic's up the... Yes. Destroying farming industry. That's Rob.
Big time.
Yes.
Big time. I've seen more damage done to the farming community in the last 12 months than in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Scary some of the things that are going on.
Well, when I was a kid, we used to go on holiday to Cornwall. My dad used to drive down to Cornwall, his Morris Oxford, those Morris Oxfords, which had a handbrake on the right-hand side. So when he got out, he used to kick the handbrake and almost bloody thing could roll down the hill easy. Anyway, that's another thing. And we used to go down to Cornwall and we used to stop at family farms. And you get milk and get eggs and butter and Cornish cream and all kinds of things. And there's chickens running around and, do you want some tomatoes? Hang on a minute. When they go and pick them off the vine, or a cucumber off the vine.
Yeah.
Those family farms have gone.
Yes, mate.
Yeah.
Terrible situation.
Right, now we got here, and someone else down there, it says, "I've sent a text over, no sound coming through, Mike. I'll give this one a mess, I think it's a miss. I'll have to lurk in chat, laugh out loud, apologies." Oh, that's okay. Lines, I think, need a note from your parents, so if that's okay. And Bob Ollioak, Panda. Yes, hang on, Dr. Joel, that's it. Dr. Joel Wallace knows all about breeds, animals, panda, rhino. Yes. Have you heard of Dr. Joe Wallach?
No.
Oh, he's brilliant. He was a vet, a very senior vet. And he said, "Do you know the difference between doctors and vets?" He said,
not a lot.
He said, a vet gets their stethoscope and puts it in the pocket because they don't have to show off, because they're more highly qualified than doctors. Doctors need to put a thing round their neck, because stethoscope, to show that they are doctors, because they've got an inferiority complex next to vets. Now it says here, Rob Ollioak says, "And as the youth go into adulthood, the brainwashing." Yes.
Absolutely.
But what I was going to say,
it's well before they get to that age as well, right through from the kids when they're starting primary school now, that's already begun. And I would even go further than that now, because the TV programs are so clever now at manipulating kids' thoughts before they even get going to school.
I agree with it. Yes, it's terrible. It's unbelievable. Now we got here. Nathan says, "There's no use getting a note from my mother. She said, he's a very naughty boy." He's not on the show. He's just a very naughty boy. No, Nathan was going to come on, but his computer's a bit like mine was. Oh, by the way, a big apology. Plenty of people joined the chat early on, and when I got onto chat, they were all wiped off for some unknown reason. Not my fault. So please don't go, "It's my chat off." I don't know. It's bloody Microsoft or someone. I don't know. But anyway,
Bill Gates did it. It's the Chinese. Blame the Chinese or Putin. It has to be one of them two.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you see him with King Jong Un Gong Tilly Punky Poos with his baggy trousers? Which is, there's Putin dressed immaculately. I mean, he certainly knows. He's a bit of a
Yeah. Armani suits and knows his stuff.
knows his stuff. And this is that King Il Gong Ding Gong or whatever his name is from North Korea. Got the most worst fitting trousers in the world. They just went from his arse, and he's walking along. He's got this worse than Donald Trump's. I mean, Donald Trump don't know how to wear trousers. I mean, his trousers are very, very bad. But King Il Do Flop, they're like a bleeding clown's trousers. They really are, you know. But apparently, I did hear that King North Korean bloke, he likes dancing, and he likes plenty of ballroom, you know, in the dancing. Dancing, yeah? Yes. I love these innovative ideas. Very, very useful to know. I'll be watching this show again. Thank you, guys. Oh, thanks, DJ Flipped.
Thank you.
It's a bit like, what's that place in Africa where the kids make their own scooters out of bits of wood?
Do you know, I watched that video the other day, and they literally they push the handlebars forward and they scoot along, don't they? And
they also are delivery. They deliver goods on them.
Yeah.
And they make money out of it.
Yeah.
I thought, what
entrepreneurs?
I mean, what bloody brilliant, isn't it?
I think it was Somalia, wasn't it? Was it Somalia?
Somalia.
I remember seeing the video about it, and I was like, wow.
Well, there's a bloke. There's a bloke who go across these really rough roads. I don't know where it was, somewhere in Africa. And he got a hole in his petrol tank. So he went into this town. And the bloke said, "Can you repair it?" "Yeah, I'll repair it." So he said, "I'll go across the cafe over the road." He goes over the cafe over the road. And there's a bloke welding it up. There's the tank. It's got a leaky petrol tank. And he knew how to do it where he didn't get blown up. He's sitting there going, holy shit, he thought, it's going to go up any minute. Oh, he actually, it's so common. So many vehicles. They knew how to do it without blowing themselves up.
I think you drain the petrol out and fill it full of water, don't you? I think that's how they do it. They weld it with water inside it. I've seen it done. Not, on videos, but not. I don't know anyone who's stupid enough to weld one.
No, but they only do it once. Now we got here. Bob Ollioak says all animals suffer from a same diseases. Has us nutrients is used to treat animals. Big, what's it? Don't want us to know this. All animals same from a same. Sorry, I think there's a bit of a grammar problem there. Do you get it? Right.
No. Is it that they're saying that they don't have the nutrition in their food like we don't? I don't know. Maybe Rob will explain. I mean, do you know what? I've been in the farming industry now a lot of years, and one of the big things I've seen in the food industry is the amount of crap that's fed to animals. I mean, we're not doing any at the moment, but we will again next year, or probably later this year. We'll breed our own pigs again. And we feed them all the waste food from the wholesale company, and everything we grow on the farm. What's all the waste gets fed to the pigs. And the beautiful taste of the meat is just superb. Stick them in the
Chinese.
Orchard. If you time it just right.
Idea, isn't it?
If you time it just right, so when the apples fall, the 2 weeks when the apples fall is the last 2 weeks the pigs are alive effectively, and they eat all the apples, and the pork tastes perfect.
Interesting. Well, they know the Chinese, they used to actually have a kazi, seriously, underneath, over the top rather, of a pigsty. So when they had a crap, the pigs ate the crap. Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
I suppose there must be a lot of nutritional food what goes through your body, Chris, that doesn't get digested properly, mustn't there?
Yeah, but why do I like on pork? Yeah, but now I've reversed my. This is Bob Ollioak. I've reversed my grey hair by listening to Dr. Wallach. I was copper deficiency. It was copper deficiency. Yes, right. I remember him saying that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm now starting to get to that point, so yeah, I might look into that.
Yeah, because Dr. Wallach is brilliant, and he retrained as a natural doctor. And what he didn't know about natural remedies wasn't worth knowing. And he did a lecture 20, 30 years ago called Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And did you know the average age of a doctor when they die is very young? 58.
Yeah, mid-50s, I should think. Yeah.
They don't live long. Well, wouldn't thought so. They're around sick people all the time. Yeah. The vegan diet has made birth defect gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. One thing we have seen a lot of this year, Chris, in the farming side, one thing we've seen a lot of this year is sheep aborting lambs halfway through the pregnancy. And that, I believe, is down to the high levels of aluminium coming out of the atmosphere.
Really?
Yeah, where it's all the chemicals are sitting on the grass, the sheep eat the grass and then abort. And that's just to give you an idea. Abort in sheep this year was up over 100%. Not talking an odd percentage, we're talking 100% increase.
Well, I know that after Chernobyl, there was sheep being born in Wales with defects, with 5 legs and whatever. Whether that was news, I don't know, because I question whether nuclear. Well, I think there's nuclear energy, but I don't think there's nuclear bombs. But that's my personal belief.
I'll tell you what, if you could breed sheep with 5 legs, that'd be a bloody result, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be, wouldn't it? But I do apologize.
The little buggers that run fast, though, there'd be a job to catch.
Oh yeah. But I must apologise to John in Siam. He's a vegetarian. Sorry, mate. We're talking about meat and eating dead animals. I'm sorry about that. But
but at least we don't eat alive ones.
No, we don't eat them alive. No,
that's just wrong. That's wrong.
Yes. Yeah. Mind you, why not go to cannibalism and eat MPs? Although they'd be a bit grisly, wouldn't they? I am joking. Can you imagine Blair with a apple in his mouth? Right, it says here, Bob Barlow says vets treat nutrients deficiency with nutrients. Humans get the same as us, but you know who don't want us to know this. White muscle disease equals selenium deficiency, milk fever equals calcium deficiency, etc. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yes. Because I'm very much into natural health and that type of thing. I use wholemeal toilet paper and that type of stuff. So but no, seriously, lots of our food is deficient of vitamins, and people say, "Oh, we get all the vitamins from the food." Bullshit. You can't.
Yeah, I don't think you do these days, Chris. I have to say, I think
I agree with
most of the trash what's coming through the system is just trash.
But another one by Robert says horse cribbing, salt deficiency.
Yeah.
So I don't know what horse cribbing is. I've never heard of it.
I don't. But they give the horses salt licks and things. So we used to put them in the fields for the animals. So that they have like big brown blocks that are kind of salt and minerals, and then the sheep find them, or the pigs, whatever, and they rub their teeth around them and so forth to get that.
Right, because I know they know the herbs to have to cure themselves, don't they, horses?
Oh yeah, I mean, horses are. I'm going to say this, but I think horses are stupid. I used to have a horse, and I think it cost me about 12 grand in the end, because the bloody thing was just daft. The horse was dafter than sheep, and sheep are bloody stupid, I've got to tell you. Sheep wake up in the morning and all they want to do is find out how today they can die. That's the only reason they're on the planet. Honestly, I'll tell you how bad sheep are. So if pigs break out of a fence, they walk up and down the fence until you get them back in, because they know that's where they get fed, right? It's like, well, I'm not walking off because I might miss out on dinner. Sheep, I get a phone call, 2 days later, someone spotted them 5 villages away. And then you're over there with a yellow bucket trying to walk them home 7 miles, bloody things. They're upside down in the ditch, or they've got their head stuck in a fence, or they've chucked themselves under a bloody tractor tire. Just sheep are just a nightmare.
Well, talk about sheep. That sheep dog, lassie dogs. There was a vet talking once on the radio years ago, and he was American, and he said that they are the most stupidest dogs in the world. And he said whenever someone phoned up and would say, "I'm afraid my dog is trapped down a mine or something," he'd say, "Yes, it's a collie dog. Sorry, it's a sheep dog, isn't it?" How do you know? Because it's a lassie dog. I think they were sheep dogs, weren't they? Lassie.
So what you're saying is that Lassie never ever told anyone that little Johnny was stuck down the well. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like Skippy, the bush kangaroo. Wasn't a kangaroo. It was a bleeding wallaby, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Now we've got Aussies. I said the Aussies. It says grass technique, magnesium deficiency. Sheep defect is nutrients deficiency. Don't know that. Salt lick.
They're good things.
Salt lick full of nutrients for the health of animals.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Bobby, you know a lot about animals. That's interesting.
You used to get all that goodness from the bloody grass.
Yes. And also, have you noticed, is it me, but yes, things are growing well, but in the morning, sometimes first thing in the morning, you can get these really weird smells. Have you found that?
To be honest, I go out at 3 o'clock in the morning. I start work at 3 every morning, Chris. So when tomorrow morning, 3 o'clock, I'm up and gone by 3 o'clock. So for me, I'm looking at things slightly different in the morning. I'm just like focused. I'm just gone. I'm like out the drive and get to work and get the vegetable order sorted out, and we're on the roll.
It must be. I mean, you've had a life of that on farming. Have you ever known? I guess this is the worst year, isn't it, for growing or anything like that?
I've known where we've had extreme heat through summers, extreme water through winters, but nothing like this, Chris. What's happened this year is that the seeds wouldn't germinate, because they didn't get, we haven't had the bees about, so when seeds germinated, they didn't pollinate.
There's no insects. Insects.
Well, do you know what? Actually, where I'm parked on the farm tonight, I'm parked just in the shade behind the trees. And I was going to tell you this earlier. And where the sun's shining across in front of me, there is thousands upon thousands of gnats and small flies about tonight.
Wow.
And that's the first time I've seen any for absolutely months. And I think what it is, I set some compost bins up where we chuck all the veg waste. Because we've got no pigs at the minute, we just turn it into compost. So it's obviously fucking stinks. And all this black sludge is running out into the veg gardens and so forth. And I think that's what it is. It's attracting them. And I've been sitting here tonight, and I'll tell you another thing. You can't see it, but directly behind me is that we've got a lovely big pond. And this pond the other day had house martins on it. The ones, is it swallows what swoop down and grab the water as they come through? Yeah. There was 6 of them on there the other day, and I was like, I haven't seen them for years.
That's interesting.
This year we've got loads and loads of moorhens. We've got loads. It seems to be that the wildlife is coming back. Now, we're lucky on the farm I'm on. Ray, who owns the farm, has put in loads of ponds. He's put in big hedges, all the things that encourage, the lifestyle of the and the insects and the birds and the bees all back. And that's really, this year we've noticed really heavily how there's a lot more about. But what I was going to say, I've got broad beans on our veg bed that have been on flower for 7 weeks now, and there's not a bean on there.
Wow.
So I don't know if they haven't pollinated or what, but there's 7 weeks, there's not one bean. And the flowers are just sitting there like they're in dormant.
Well, it's like,
they normally flower, beans on within about 10 days, and they're done.
Well, years ago, I used to drive along this time of year, and your headlights would be caked full of insects.
Yeah.
You put your windscreen wipers on, it go,
yeah,
and it'd be insects going everywhere.
Yeah.
No, they're not. I've noticed no wasps. I haven't seen any wasps this year.
I'll tell you
Not
what I
at all.
haven't seen, Chris. I've only seen one bumblebee this year.
There was some earlier in the year, but what I've noticed is once upon a time, the weather would get warmer slowly. Now, this time last week, it was freezing.
Yeah.
Now, it's boiling hot, absolutely boiling.
You've
all
also
of a
got to bear in
sudden-
mind, Chris, that when it rains a lot, the bees don't come out.
Yeah.
Right? So they don't fly when it's raining. We've had months upon months upon months. They couldn't get out and get the food they needed to. So I think a lot of them have just died off. And we all know how bloody important bees are.
Well, also, we used to get smaller bumblebees, which were the indigenous ones. They're all dead. And what we've got now is continental bees, which are big, bloody big sods. They're like queen bees, and they're not. So
we've just got nothing this year, nothing at all. It's been bizarre. You know, normally we've got lavender hedges and things, and you would normally see them covered in them. Nothing. The lilac, nothing at all.
Yes, I've noticed that.
And you also have to then ask the question, Chris, when they're dropping all this crap out of aeroplanes, what are they actually dropping? Are they dropping, insect killer? Are they dropping anything? Are they dropping glyphosates to damage the plants? There was one field I went to, a guy phoned me and he said, would you come and have a look at this? You talk a lot on YouTube and so forth. And I went and saw him, and this field looked like it had been burnt off. It looked like it had chemical rain on it. And you could see it all across the hedges and everything. And it's just as if someone had flown over at night and just ditched some sort of weed killer across everything overnight, and it killed everything off. Bizarre. Seen some real strange things this year. Things you might see once in a lifetime, but not every other day on farms. It's just crazy times.
It is very, very weird. Another one is Canada geese. Now, when I was a kid, the sky was covered in Canada geese.
Yeah.
And my mum used to say incorrectly, "Oh, they're flying south for the winter, dear." No, they were coming in from the Arctic to here because it's warmer here.
Yeah.
Now, last year, I just saw one group of 5 come over, and that was it. Hardly any.
You used to get massive amounts, and you'd see hundreds of them flying over.
Yeah.
Nothing now. Nothing at all.
That's right. They've gone. I don't know why. There's something really very weird. And it says here, Rob says, I use wood ash on all my vegetables.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Brilliant. Yeah, potash is fantastic.
Yes. And Rob says, most new homes built fitted with swallow and house martins built in nests. Oh, they have watered nests in the. I sincerely hope so, because I used to walk to school, and there was one particular road. I don't know why, but it was these like old cottages, and either side, certain times you get house martins flying everywhere.
In their lovely little round mud huts.
That's right, beautiful, because they come from Africa, don't they? They fly up.
Yeah. That's why they know how to build mud huts.
I
can say that. I can say that. My partner would say she'd laugh at that. She's not Nigerian. She'd laugh at that.
Well, I suppose she's heard the shortwave radio. Oh, sorry, I've killed the joke now. No, there was a gag actually I was going to say, but I'll leave it for another time. But no, actually, the thing that I've noticed is looking up at the sky. Now, I love driving, but also I like cycling. And I was cycling along the other day when we first had a glimpse of nice weather. And I've never seen a sky like it. The clouds were like vibrations. You know what I mean? That's harp. That's harp.
100%. Yeah, that's harp.
The complete horizon I could see was harp. And I thought, this is not right. Because it was always the same. Sunny in the morning, overcast in the afternoon.
Well, it's because they spray overnight. A lot of what they do is spray overnight, and it takes 6 or 8 hours to sort of come together. And then by the afternoon, it's then clouding up, ready for a good night rain. And this is the BS what we go through constantly.
Well, that's it. And also, we've had torrential rain, but now we've had this couple of days. Well, I don't know, it's about a week now, isn't it? Of some. My garden, the soil is rock hard, bleach hard. Now, normally it wouldn't go
the same issue.
Yeah, it's really weird because normally
Yeah,
it wouldn't be that rock hard that quickly.
No. I mean, where we are, we're on really heavy, thick soil, heavy clay, and
Same here.
That's horrendous. You know, it just bakes, and within 2 or 3 days of weather like we've had, you know, you could, if I can get an axe on, you wouldn't get in the ground.
That's same here, because it's it's Lee Valley. That's all it's all clay soil, and I think it goes up to where you are. But do you find that? I mean, clay, it's fine. It gets its strength from moisture, but the only thing that seems to be good for growing on is tomatoes. Apparently, tomatoes like clay soil.
So does rhubarb, I have to say. If you want to break down, clay, Chris, and make it a really, really nice composty soil, the best thing to do with it is over winter, just get loads of gypsum and put on it. Gypsum, what you use for building.
Oh yeah.
You can buy that from B&Q and places like that. If you buy that and sprinkle it on the ground about 1 inch deep and just leave it for the weather to take it in, next year you'll have the most beautiful, soft, sandy soil you've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. So it's gypsum.
Gypsum, yeah.
Yes, and actually, there was quite a lot going on. Hang on, quite a lot here going on in Rumble in the jungle. But now tonight has been a balls up on the show, hasn't it? At the beginning, that's what cocks it all up because people thought we'd gone, people couldn't find us. So anyway, but next week everything will be okay. Now Robert said here, I live in a new build. Poor sod, do you? Oh dear, 900 properties built on this location, and I'd say 60% have the built-in nest. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't seen that before.
That's good. That's good.
I haven't seen that. We've got a lot of Canada. This is Rob again. We've got a lot of Canadian geese on our local reservoir, Draycote Water, Warwickshire. Well, there is a fair amount on in the Lee Valley. It's mainly moorhens and swans and a few geese. There's a lot of geese around Waltham Abbey, a lot around there. I don't know quite what attracts them to Waltham Abbey. Probably they might be religious because the abbey there, you know.
Or it might be they come there for the ley lines.
It could be. Yes.
That's more like it.
Yes.
That's more like it. Come in there, follow the energy lines in. Because I think that's how the geese fly. You know that, don't you? They follow the lines.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, they follow the ley lines around the planet. Yeah, when they're flying, that's how they find where they're going.
Because I know that pigeons use markers, don't they? Because apparently a load of pigeons actually fly up the M1. They use that as a sight thing. So I heard.
Don't know.
But because the American Navy during the war, they actually trained a pigeon. This is sad. This is, and I shouldn't laugh. To peck. Seriously, they had a box. They wanted a missile to hit Japanese ships and German ships, you see. And they want the pigeon to look on these ships as food. And it would peck like this. And it aimed the missile towards. Yeah, they tried it out. I don't think it worked very well, though. Pigeon were happy about it, you know. But no, that's what they did. They used animals in the most cruel things. Cruel ways. The worst.
Chris, what's the time of this day? I'm conscious I've got to get up at 2:30, and I'm sitting outside. And it's getting darker and darker.
Well, thanks for joining me tonight. Sorry, it's a
still got to shut my shop up yet.
I understand. Thanks a million for coming on. It's much appreciated.
Chris, it's always a pleasure to come on the show. I love coming on here.
Thank you.
I do loads of interviews, and I never have fun like I do on yours because you have to be on parade all the time, don't you? And I just love coming here, and I can just be me and just talk to you.
It's really kind. It's a pleasure having you on. And if you want to come on this survival show, you're more than welcome. And any spare spot, you're a regular, just say. And sorry about the balls up at the beginning.
No, we got there in the end, didn't we?
And we're here, we're broadcasting. Thanks a million for coming on. And
it's been my pleasure, mate.
And thanks a lot. And also, there's quite a few emails. People sent me emails. Don't take offence. You could take a gate or you could take a wall, but don't take offence if I haven't replied. The reason why is because I'm a lazy bastard. But it gets me time. It takes time to get around them. But thank you very much for all your emails. Much appreciated. And we're coming on this Friday on Rumble only. And we're going to be talking to Nathan too. We're going to radio. And he is talking about things we can't talk about on YouTube. So it's going to be an interesting show. And then Sunday, I'm going on live on radio again with Paul English. So that's going to be an interesting show. And then we'll be back next Monday as well for an election special, where the next Prime Minister is going to be shown.
Can we just ask a quick question? Can people put in the in there quickly in the old typey type bit? What they think's going to happen in the election, because I think we're going to have a shock.
I think we are, actually. Yes. So we got. Shall we wait for a few minutes? See if anybody.
Yeah, let's. I'd just be interested to see what people's thoughts are, because obviously, I've been out on the campaign trail this week, supporting our local guy, and for one reason and one reason only, I'm thoroughly fecking pissed off with the red and the blue keep arguing among themselves and not actually achieving anything for us. People, we select them to do what's right for us, and they just shaft us at every opportunity. So, I've made a decision this year that if you want change, you've got to be the change and you've got to make it. And I know that, Nigel is not everybody's cup of tea, but I've got behind the local reform guys, and I've made a point that, I've going to go out and try and do something different, because I just can't understand why these people, we paid them to do a job and they can't just do it.
Well, Nathan's just said, election, Labour wins, already pre-selected. No, I won't be voting, no point. And Rob has said F to voting. Well, I don't vote. Although I might, with this chap Brett, who's running the English. No, he's not running it. He's putting up for the English Constitution Party and abolish usury, just to put the cat amongst the pigeons. So that'd be fun. But that's interesting. But they can put him in comments afterwards. What about that? That's an idea.
Absolutely. Right, I'm losing daylight. I've got to go and lock a shop up.
We just get to see you. Thanks for coming on, and whatever happens,
just always look on the bright side of life, mate. That's all you've got to do.
And have a bloody good laugh. And
thanks everyone for coming on and commenting tonight. It's always a pleasure to come on with you, Chris. Speak to you soon, mate.
Thanks. Bye.
Cheers, mate.